Hello, wine drinking people. Today is Thursday, April 29th. Only one more day to go to the Great Wine Seminar. I've been salivating thinking about the Chateau Yquem, the Cheval Blanc, the Domaine Rousseau, the Opus One, and the Taittinger. Should be a fun weekend down at the Eden Rock Hotel. But we've got a few shows to get through first. And what I drank yesterday. Well, you know we're going to talk about the Steel Dinner, which was last night. We didn't have but one supplier in the store yesterday. Man, I was singing How Dry I Am all day long. And just one Argentero from Mendoza, which I don't get out of bed in the morning to drink wines in the $10 price range. These wines weren't bad, but they're not the reason why I get out of bed in the morning. Some pretty good values, some nice little wines. Okay, last night, the Jed Steel Dinner. Cafe Max celebrated its 26th year in business last night. This restaurant, which was started by Dennis Max in 1984, has been owned and operated by Daryl and Oliver since, I believe, 1987. These guys bought it from Dennis, and it is a landmark in South Florida. There's not too many restaurants that have been around this long. These guys have found a way to reinvent themselves and to continue to put Cafe Max on a pedestal as one of the greatest restaurants, greatest dining places in South Florida for over 2 decades. So congratulations, guys. And who better to celebrate with than our good friend Jed Steel. Last night's dinner, we had about 60 people. This is an event, usually our biggest draw of the year. This is our 17th year that we've done an event with Jed for his label. As I pointed out to Jed, we did do a dinner with him in 1990 when he was working at Kendall Jackson. So maybe 18 or 19 dinners with Jed, because I know we did one up at the restaurant in Delray when we had that also. But I get a lot of people that ask me, with all the wine that I drink, what my favorite wine is. It's a hard question to answer because I drink a lot of great wines. But one of my great friends, Jimmy Mansbeck, used to always say, I like to drink the wines that my friends make. And I have to say the wines are much more enjoyable when when it's somebody that I know that's producing them. And there's not too many people that I know better than Jed. Like I said, we've seen him 17 times for wine dinners over the years. And his wines also satisfy the other criteria for my favorite wines being affordable. I can afford to drink them. And stylish and elegant, not overblown. His wines are usually under 14% alcohol and focus on elegance and style rather than brute strength. And the surprise of the night for many people was one of the starting wines, the Black Bubbles. This is a wine that Jed was inspired by the black sparkling Shiraz from the land down under. And this is a wine that goes great with eggs and bacon, as they like to say in Australia, a breakfast wine. But it worked very nice with the oysters from Jed's buddy, Pacific Coast oysters, served with a little tropical mignonette that Ali infused a little of this Black Bubbles in. One of Oliver Saucy, the sauce man's secrets, is he likes to cook with the wine that we're going to put with the food. And that was an excellent pairing. Jed likes to show 2 or 3 wines to start. One wine is not enough for the reception with a Steel Dinner, so we had his Shooting Star. Jed's middle name is Tecumseh, which means shooting star. And this Lake County Sauvignon Blanc, bright and crisp, a little bit of Semillon added for a little mid-palate feel. This was beautiful with the crispy coconut bay scallops with tamarind dipping sauce. Absolutely fantastic. And the tuna tartare with caviar, I thought, worked particularly well with the Sauvignon Blanc last night. And it's only $12.98. A steal. One of the things that Jed's always focused on is producing wines that people can't afford to drink on a daily basis. And like I said, 2 wines is not enough, so we had the Cabernet Franc Rosé, one of the most unique wines that Jed does. This wine is also from Lake County, and this was great with the adobe chicken empanadas and the lobster pot stickers. Both were beautiful with the rosé. Hey, we haven't even started yet, folks. These were just appetizers. This was just a mingling session. This is what we had. Okay, first up, the course was a grilled grouper with citrus hearts of palms and a mixed grain salad and a little bit of Pinot Blanc, Beurre Blanc with it. Like I said, Ali likes to infuse the wine that we're serving with the course into the food somehow. This was into the Beurre Blanc, and the Steel Pinot Blanc 2007 was delicious with this course. Pinot Blanc is similar to Chardonnay. Jed likes to call it his baby Chardonnay. It has that lovely fruit that Chardonnay has. It takes to oak very well like Chardonnay does. This wine had a little bit of vanilla spice, a nice creamy flavor, texture on the tongue. Very nice and a great value at just $19, just under $19 on sale. Well, I like a nice duck with my Pinot Noir, and this duck Carpaccio that Ali did was the wine and food pairing of the night. As I said, he splashed a little bit of the Pinot Noir even on the plate with it. Really brought everything together. But the foie gras croutons, Ali, you are a genius, buddy. Went brilliantly with the Pinot, brilliantly with a very nice touch to the dish to finish it off, and a little Manchego cheese on there also. The Santa Barbara County 2007 Pinot. One of the things I like about Santa Barbara Pinots, this is a cold climate. You get very Burgundian-style wines here. Even though this wine had that typical forward fruit that you get from California, it had a lot of that spice, the cola, and the other stuff, the earthiness that you do get from Burgundy also. A very nice wine, and again, a great value, just under $20, $19.80. The third course, the Sterling Filet Mignon with the Cabernet sauce, crispy risotto, and wild mushrooms. No-brainer, man. Cabernet and filet. The 2006 Cabernet from Lake County, a big wine. The Red Hills appellation, one of the newest appellations in that part of the world. It was added in 2004. This Red Hills area is on the base of a volcano, Mount Konocti, and beautiful minerality coming out in this wine. You really did notice the oak in it also because it was very young. The chocolate notes really stood out in the nose. A little lead pencil, a lot of dark berry, cassis, and currant fruit. Big and chewy on the tongue. You can tell this wine just needed a little age, and it's going to be beautiful. And speaking of age, Jed wanted to bring something special to commemorate the amount of dinners that we did in the first one. So the closest thing he could get to 1993, the first dinner we did with Jed with his steel wines, is the 94 vintage, which he donated his last 18 bottles to our cause last night. The 94 was drinking beautiful, had this lovely cigar box, tobacco-y spice to it. The fruit was very mellow, the tannins very soft, showing very nice. It was nice to show those two Cabernets side by side, the 06 and then the 1994. Sorry, we don't have any 94 to sell. That's one of the only wines we don't have on this offer. Final course for dinner was the chocolate raspberry glazed short ribs with bone marrow, cipollini onions, and new potatoes. This wine was brilliant with the steel Stymie Syrah. Stymie is Jed's reserve label. Stymie was a racehorse in the 1940s and 50s, and this was a horse that Jed's dad bet on and won, and that's how they moved the family out to California. So kind of an interesting story behind that one also. The Stymie Syrah, the Stymie Merlot, his two reserve wines, both outstanding wines and incredible values. They're only $33 a bottle here at the Wine Watch. Cheaper than you can buy them anywhere else in the country. But awesome stuff. A great dinner last night. I didn't have dessert. I have to skip dessert because I drink so much wine. But I did have dessert wine. The 1997 Late Harvest Chardonnay. This is a wine that we've featured at least 3 times in the past at our steel dinners. And it's a wine that Jed's bottled 3 different times. He bottled it as he needed it. This last batch is amber in color. Really beautiful wine. Lovely apricots, peaches, honey. Similar to what you get out of a Sauternes. And somewhat reasonably priced at $29. Really nice. That's for a half bottle. Okay, you know what we've got going on the rest of the week. I already mentioned that. What are we trying to sell you today? Well, you know, we tasted some wines from Montalcino last Friday night. This has kind of inspired me. I've been on a Brunello kick, and we just got a great deal on the 2001 San Filippo Reserva. I think I mentioned in that every estate in Brunello makes 2 wines. Well, I lied. Most of them make a third wine, a Reserva. And by law, Brunello has to be held for 5 years. The Reservas are held for an extra year. Usually it is a selection of the top fruit. Sometimes it's a single vineyard. This wine is a selection. The San Filippo estate was established in 1972. It was recently purchased by Roberto Gianelli, and he has reconstructed the winery and its methods with the help of an expert team of winemakers, vineyard managers, and cellar technicians. This property has quickly become an estate to watch in Montalcino. The vineyards stand in the southeast region of Montalcino and yield particularly elegant, well-structured wines. Roberto's aim is to offer high-quality Brunellos, Rossos, and St. Antimo, an appellation very close by to Montalcino. And this Brunello is from the stellar 2001 vintage. It's now 9 years old. This is a wine that still needs a little time, I think, in your cellar to mature. But we had this at our best of tasting. It was one of our best sellers, and it was on the table with the 2004 Valdicava, and almost everybody that tried them both liked this wine better. I'm not saying it's better than Valdicavo. I'm saying it was drinking better on that particular night. 2001 San Filippo Reserva. Check it out on today's email. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposone, signing off, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.